Welcome to Coleman Report Live. I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking Main Street and the small business lenders who help it grow. John Riosti, American banker. John, thank you so much for joining us. Undisclosed location. Can I say Virginia, or can I not even reveal that?
Keep that on your hat.
And Katie Watucky, who's soon to move to an undisclosed location in Seattle. So we're John, let's just jump into what are you working on these days? I know Congress is out, but obviously there's been a lot of stories we've talked about the last couple of days in terms of should all these companies be getting PPP loans? What's your take?
I think that they're all clients of the banks, or the credit unions, of the lenders. So we're a little bit removed from that. Personally, the rules allowed them to get it, so they played by the rules. You can complain about the rules, but perhaps not to the business people, because they played by the rules. So
and John, it doesn't make a difference whether you work for a nonprofit or for Microsoft or for Community Banker or for Kanye West, or I guess Dr. Phil their jobs, right?
Yeah. That's right, their jobs, and as long as the money, and I'm sure it has to be spent on mortgage, rent, and utilities, and the other accepted expenses, then it doesn't seem to be a problem for me.
Yeah,
so.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because we're getting a lot of bad press. I guess my question to you is, because of the bad press, are any politicians jumping onto this? Or are we still looking at bipartisan, unanimous type of votes when they get back?
I think it's still bipartisan, because at this point in the program, the program has moved beyond sort of the concerns that other newspapers and media are jumping on. They're really focused on lending to smaller businesses, to minorities, to certainly the types of firms that no one has a problem with in that. And I can't imagine that the legislation in Congress being too controversial, or at least too partisan.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear. I think it's still a bipartisan effort in terms of let's make sure. It looks like the economy's turning around a little bit. Let's make sure we keep on doing that. We have some poll questions. Let's ask this one. We asked this a while ago, and we just like to re-ask it. Re-ask it. Is that even a word? Re-ask. The reason why I'm curious about this, John, is this is the first time that SBA has allowed their lending programs to go to nonprofits. Now, USDA, B&I, you can go to a nonprofit, but not to SBA. So I'm just curious what the industry feels. What do you think, John?
I think they'll say yes. I think, regardless.
Oh, look at you. 87% think we should loan to nonprofits, 10% no. And you didn't have the answer beforehand. I didn't,
but it certainly doesn't surprise me. It would have surprised me the other way, because they lend, the lenders, the banks, the credit unions, they lend to the nonprofits. So they service them.
And nonprofits employ people. This is, let's keep our eye on the ball that this is unemployment. Yesterday, we asked a question about construction, John. We asked them what was going on with their credit box. Correct me if I'm wrong, Katie. I think 65% say they're tightening it. 35% said it's been the same. That was for new construction. And I'm sort of concerned about this, because I'm driving around my little corner of the world, and I see a lot of restaurants closing and a lot of small business closing. What's your experience, John?
The same. Here in the undisclosed city of Fredericksburg, there's a lot of empty storefronts in and around Fredericksburg on the commercial strip, which is Route 3, which runs out of the city, both west and east. There's a lot of newly emptied storefronts where there wasn't any. If you want to go back, say, late last year, all throughout last year and into this year, there were, I don't recall any vacancies. So.
Right. That's definitely gone. So the question is, what's happened to your credit box or commercial real estate? 60% said it's tightened up, and 40% say it's been the same. And again, it's similar to our results for construction. No one is expanding their credit box. So it appears the industry is adapting to the current environment very well. What you're on the ground, you're talking to lenders. What are they telling you, John?
It's dangerous for me to answer that, Bob, because I've talked to some, but it's by no means I will say it's by no means a scientific sample. But I will just say that the ones I've talked to, including some today, say things are going no worse than expected and probably a little bit better than expected, both with the credit quality. They're seeing they're not seeing a lot of deterioration. They are making deferrals, but even the deferrals are going well. There aren't necessarily as many, and they're not for as much. It's not quite as severe as one might have thought.
Good.
So.
Our third poll question is just sort of, I guess, a pop culture question, a personal question. Are you planning on taking vacation this summer? Yes, no, I don't know. John, I was supposed to go do the Alaskan Highway in August, and I decided just to see what I could. First of all, I can't get into Canada. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah. And then Alaska's gonna quarantine me for 2 weeks, so I'm not going on the Alcan this year, John.
No, that would be maybe logistically a tougher trek than you bargained for.
Well, I have a Jeep and I know the back roads, but I'm not about to try that. Let's see, 41% say yes, 51% say no, and 8% haven't talked to their significant others on what the plans are. No, I think we're just trying to, when this all started in March, we had heard optimistic reports of July 4th reopenings or whatever, and that doesn't look like, well, it didn't happen. Katie, tell us what's going on with numbers.
So we're still have a lot of funds still available in the program. I think a lot of lenders have said that they're not going to do the PPP program through the August 8th deadline. So there is a little bit more limitations on where borrowers can receive their loans. So keeping that in mind, I think there's less borrowers as well who still need them. Last I heard, there's a significant number of people who said they were comfortable with how much money they had for operating costs and things like that. So I think the money will probably continue to last, probably through the August 8th deadline.
Do you know what the status is of the pool available, Katie?
Last I read, it looks like there's some data from July 8th that I have not seen yet, but last I read it was over 130 billion.
Is that's your number, John?
That's what I read, and it doesn't look like it's declined a lot. I would say roughly 130 billion is a very good. It was 131 billion as of June 30th, closer to 132 billion, and I can't imagine it's gone down that much since then, given that the program just reopened on July 6th.
Very good. A couple questions for you. Let's see. Number one, do you have any insight when SBA is going to be issuing the final forgiveness guidelines?
No, I don't, and I really wonder if how if there's any internal debate going on about blanket forgiveness, some type of more simplified forgiveness than they have. And I talked to some borrowers and lenders this morning, and both said any type of automatic forgiveness, even if they choose the lowest threshold, which is about 150 billion, 150,000, would be a godsend.
I believe it's going to happen. I went on record saying we were going to have the guidelines by June 30th. I obviously was mistaken, but I know there's bipartisan support on the Hill for some type of simplified forgiveness application for both the borrower as well as the lender. Obviously we have to wait back. When's Congress get back in session, John?
Oh, I don't know that. I don't follow them that closely. So
well, it's another week. Yeah. I think probably.
I'll make a quick, just jump in here with one more comment about forgiveness. What I'll really be looking for beginning next week as the banks start to report earnings, is any more of them announcing loan sales, PPP loan sales.
Interesting.
Yes. Because I know there's the buyers are really pushing for that, and given the whole landscape of forgiveness with the the shifting targets and the conflicting instructions and just the effort that's involved, unless and until some type of blanket forgiveness is put in place, it'll just be interesting to see if more institutions just sort of say we're better off outsourcing this whole business.
Yeah, Katie, what was the number on the poll that we did the other day? Outsourcing was around 10%. 8 to 10%.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. It was not very high.
Yeah, so they're going to keep it on. Also, just as an aside, we've had some discussions about income recognition, and the consensus is it's unclear if we can do it for June 30th, as you said, for earnings. But we've got some guidance that says I'll probably be recognized for most of 2020. Also, someone had sent me some additional guidance from the AICPA. I have that, and we will get that up in the next couple of days in terms of giving the lenders written instructions on how they should pay agents. That seems to be a hot topic. John, what are you doing on Main Street? Oh, here we go. Question from Ramon. Can the MS Main Street, I don't know the acronym, so I'm gonna say, be used to refinance the mortgage on a commercial property at funding? So do we have the Main Street loan to replace the real estate mortgage on a commercial property? Do you know, John?
I'm afraid I don't know. I better not weigh in on that.
Yeah. And again, the problem is we don't have the guidance on that. How much have you covered on this program, John?
We have. I have been focused a lot on PPP. We've been moving a little bit more because finally Main Street is getting up and running. But it's a very different program run by a very different organization. So it's also for sort of a different target market.
Right. Yeah, a little bit middle market from there. Right. Next week we are going to Lance will be back, and we will have our Main Street lending program. In addition to the other opportunities we have. Oh, Joseph, I don't have my questions on my script. That's why I'm on it. We'll ask the question from Joe. Does the new Main Street lending program allow lenders to do business acquisitions with the program? Again, I don't know that. It seems to be reasonable, but I think I'm going to punt on that one unless Katie and John have some feedback on that.
No, I have I'm kind of sure I know the answer to this, but I'm not sure enough that I want to go out on a limb. I don't think it does, but I am.
Fair enough. I mean, and a lot of these questions. Yeah, I know we get a lot of questions on PPP forgiveness and also on the new Main Street lending programs. We just don't have the guidance from SBA and Treasury on what they're going to be doing on that. Hey, John, Michael, do we have any more questions out there? We're clear. John, thank you so much for joining us. Katie, as always, good to see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Katie, we'll hold off on Fraud Friday till tomorrow. You got a good story for us?
Yep.
All right. How's that for a tease? John, thanks a lot. Hey, thanks for joining us today for Coleman Report Live and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time. Thank you.
Thank you.